Ladies and gentlemen, Rudy here. Hope you're having a good night. So tonight, the video is, why should you be reading Pokemon Adventure in 2024? So, as of the making of this video, I am not caught up to the latest chapter of Pokemon Adventure. I read it a long time ago, initially, like back in the mid 2010s. I read a bunch of different arcs, so to speak. You know, the initial ones, the leaf green ones, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire. I read. I'm pretty sure I read Black and White, and that's where I think I stopped. I think I stopped like in the middle of Black and White 2 somewhere. So, but what am I talking about? So, Pokemon Adventures is a manga series. It's been long running. It's been running since, I believe, the early 2000s. And it's an adaptation of the Pokemon video games to manga. So, I wouldn't call it a direct one-to-one adaptation, but just like in the way that, you know, someone takes artistic liberties when adapting like a book to a movie or adapting like movies to video games. These manga really are dramatizations and like have a lot richer character development than in the games. You know, you really see like super villainous villains do really villainous things. Like, it's not like messing around. You know, the stakes feel a bit more real. You know, the Pokemon are very intense. Sometimes they're really feral and wild. It's actually really cool. I think it's a really great take on, you know, the Pokemon universe. And if you talk to a lot of people who have read the manga, they often say that they wish that the Pokemon anime was more like this. You know, something a bit more grounded, a bit more serious. I'm in the middle just because as a 90s kid, I loved the Pokemon anime growing up. So I'm glad I got what I got. But certainly, you know, something like this is really cool to think about and want. So, but why should you be reading it? You might be asking. Well, one, it is grounded. You know, the characters are very like serious in comparison to their video game or anime counterparts. You know, there is a lot of serious stakes, lots of villains, lots of violence, lots of, you know, really great, you know, very like compelling and interesting plot stuff. So it's very different. And so if you're looking for something like that, if that's something that you want, but you do want Pokemon in it, this is it. Like, this is it. So, two, I think that it's actually, like, really interesting because, you know, even though this is Pokemon, and Pokemon is, like, the biggest franchise in the world, Pokemon Adventure is not that well known relative to, like, the rest of the franchise. I have not met a lot of people who have read this manga, you know, who like Pokemon or otherwise. And so it does well enough that it gets like a lot of publications and people talk about it, but it's like it's not that well known. So if you're looking for something kind of niche and something kind of distinctive, like, oh, you want to do Pokemon but you want to do it kind of like in sort of the nerdy hipster way, this is the way to do it, guys. Get yourself Pokemon Adventure manga. That's the way to go. I am giving it my endorsement from the nerdy hipster guy. So I promise you, I will not let you down. My recommendations. But the third reason I think that you should read this now, among all other times, is because it's been ongoing for almost 20 years. So there is like a lot of content. You have at least, I think, the first 6 generation of games have been adapted into this series. And I know that the 7th and 8th are coming. That's to my knowledge. And you just gotta think to yourself for a second here. Like, you know, it always sucks like when you pick up something to read or to watch and it's like you're only 3 episodes in and then you have to wait a week. Right? You're not gonna have that problem here. You know, you have a lot of content to sift through and to chew through, and you can read it over and over again. There's so much of it. So I think it's a really great, for someone who likes to binge, this is a really great series to binge read. So if you're like a nerdy hipster who wants to do something popular but do it in the unpopular way, if you want to binge something, this is for you, guys. I'm talking to you. I'm you, and I'm telling you. You is telling you, read this. And then finally, I think that the last reason why you should read it is because, you know, I think that even though we all love Pokemon, I think that we all also get older, and we also, our tastes change. And so, like, if you like Pokemon, but it's hard to get kind of into the cutesy stuff, it's hard to just stay, bubbly and excited. Maybe you're not feeling the video games. This is here, guys, and this is really interesting content. This is like much more like mature content, and I think that is good. It's not overly mature, so there's not going to be like a lot of gratuitous fan service or anything like that. That's not in this. So if you're like worried about that, like, and you don't like it when people like objectify people and like portray people in certain like scandalous ways, you're not gonna have to worry about that in his. This isn't really that. It's like mature and grounded in pretty much all the other ways. So I think it's very tasteful, and I think that it's really well done. So that's just me giving my recommendation. These are just my thoughts on it. I was actually like at the doctor's office the other day, and my doctor was just trying to talk to me about Pokemon Go because she noticed like some of my croc charms and stuff. I got some new croc charms. I'll probably have to do a video about it, but like, and I was just noticing that, like, for some people, it's like that's all they have to talk about with Pokemon. They don't know what else to get into, because they don't want to get in the cartoons because they feel like, oh, this is cartoons. Or, they want to pick up video games, maybe they don't have time, But this is here for you guys. This is really, like, I think that if you don't have a lot of time, but you can pick up a book for, like, 10 to 15 minutes, this is great. So, if you're really looking for a way to get more Pokemon content with a plot that you can read it. The books, you can get it digitally, I'm sure, through Viz. You can find it online some other way, Amazon, Kindle. There's lots of ways to read this, guys. It's 2024, so you can find it. But I do recommend the omnibuses if you can get a hold of them. They're really nice. Mine are beat up because my son reads them and he tears them apart. But these are really great ways to pick up the physical copies of the book because you can get multiple, and it's like about $20 a book, but you get like basically 3 of the little books in it. So I think it's like actually saves you some money if you can get them. So I recommend this series a lot. It's really fun. I'm going to be rereading it definitely too in the coming years and stuff like that. But what do you think? Do you like Pokemon Adventures? Are there other manga that you recommend? Do you want to hear me talk a little bit more about manga on the channel? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys. Have a good night. Bye.